All right, from Quarantine Hill on Grove Heights, another episode of Peg Perry's Prognostications from Berkeley Springs.
Good morning. I thought I would tell a little history today of things we don't know. We call ourselves Americans, but everybody's trying to find out where their name comes from. It'd be interesting to tell you where our name originates. We say Columbus discovered America. We sing Columbia, the gem of the ocean. But how did we get named America? Because of a Portuguese navigator. I say Portuguese. His name was Amerigo Vespucci. He was born in 1854, died, interesting, on February 22nd, and that's a special date I speak on, 1512, at age 57. He was born in Florence, Italy. Although he was born in Italy, he became a naturalized citizen of Spain in 1505. But he sailed. In 1503, he was sailing under a Portuguese flag, and that's why I always called him the Portuguese navigator, but that's because he sailed under a Portuguese flag. So we attribute it, he founded South America. That's where America gets its name, from the name Amerigo Vespucci. But where does his name come from? And then if you can go online and check this out, you'll find out that Saint Emeric, E-M-E-R-I-C, or Americo, was a saint. Saint Stephen was the first king of Hungary. Saint Emeric was his son. So the reason I'm saying this, here in Berkeley Springs, if you go out 522 and you turn left on Tabor Road, you go about 5 miles and you go out about 5 miles, you come to Tabor Road, Then you go about 1.5 miles, you come to a little sign that says Hungary Avenue. And going way, way back into the woods, back in there, there is a chapel. And most people don't know it's there. It's called the Alba Regina Chapel. If you go online and look it up under that title, you will get information. Anyway, it is called the Alba Regina Chapel. It was built by the Hungarian freedom fighters. When during the communist rule and everything, the Hungarians were losing their faith, their country, and many came to the United States. They immigrated here. So here they are. They're Hungarians. But what are they going to do when someone dies? Where are they going to be buried? They're not from here. Where are they going to be buried? They bought a plot of land here in Berkeley Springs, out in the woods. And on that property is a cemetery. And when someone died here in this country,
From Hungary,
their remains were brought here because they were buried on Hungarian soil. They claimed that land out there. Anyway, on that property is a chapel. It's called the Alba Regina Chapel. And if you were, it's closed down now, but if you were to go in it, to the left was a stained glass picture. A stained glass window. And in that stained glass window, it was a picture of Saint Stephen, the first king of Hungary, laying his crown at a foot of a statue of Mary. On the right-hand side of the chapel, in that stained glass window, it showed angels holding the crown of Saint Stephen. The average person wouldn't know what that represented, and that's what I wanted to tell you. What was the crown of St. Stephen? St. Stephen was the first king of Hungary. He was crowned by the Pope. And that crown was always special to the Hungarian people. And when they came to America, they brought that crown with them. And it was kept here in America for safekeeping. But then under the Carter administration, it was then when things were coming together, it was sent back to Hungary. Now, I started talking about America because St. Stephen had a son. His name was Saint Emmerich. And because we got named after a map maker, we got the name America. But the saint that we're named after is Saint Emmerich. And that's what I wanted to tie this in. Saint Emmerich, as a little boy, he was very devoted to God. This was Saint Stephen's only son. And he loved God so much. And he made a vow that he would never marry. But his father, the king, not knowing about this vow, arranged a marriage. So in obedience to his father, he took the vow, took a wife, but afterwards explained to his wife the vow that he had made, and she also made the vow of purity, and they lived a chaste life. But that's who Saint Emmerich is. But I wanted to tell you, at the moment of his death, this is Saint Emmerich, the archbishop who assisted him saw the soul of this holy prince ascend to heaven accompanied by angels. God bestowed a great favor upon those who in need went to the tomb of the saint for relief. And it is believed by some Hungarians that Amerigo Vespucci, the Italian explorer, and the namesake of America, was named after this saint. And the reason I said they went to his tomb to pray and got favors, because maybe that's what we should be praying, who we should add to our prayers and pray to Saint Emmerich, who is the patron saint of our country.
Now, how did
That's
the name? I'm not following.
Emmerich, America, the name Emmerich.
How did that happen? Who named it that?
Who named the reason when Amerigo Vespucci, because we say Columbus discovered America, but because he was an explorer, somehow or other he got his name was on a map, and we got named after him. Because we got named after this explorer, we got the name America under Amerigo Vespucci. But it is believed that the Hungarians, that the Amerigo Vespucci, the Italian explorer and namesake of America, was after Saint Emmerich, the son of Saint Stephen, the first king of Hungary. And that chapel is here in Berkeley Springs. And if you go out 522 and you turn left on Tabor Road, interesting that the name Tabor. In the Bible, what was Tabor? Mount Tabor was the Mount of the Transfiguration. I think God has some designs and we don't understand it yet. But tomorrow I'll teach you about the crown of Saint Stephen and how it was hidden.